Hey everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up, your rundown of the entertainment, media, biz, and tech stories to know on Thursday, February 20th, 2020. Brought to you, as always, by the freshest Colombian coffee you can get, Devoción Coffee. In today's Wake Up, Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd are re-teaming for a limited series based on a podcast. Nope, not this one. I already have a commitment from Tom Selleck. Jennifer Lawrence sets her first project as a married woman. Viacom CBS reports their first revenue numbers as an officially recombined company. And MTV reboots yet another series from their 2000s heyday. But I'm still waiting for the return of this show.
And now it's his basement, his rules, his game show. The Quizmaster 72, whooping Corp Lane, and it's over.
Okay, anybody under 40 years old is definitely like WTF right now, so let's move right along to Hollywoodland. Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd are going to do a limited dark comedy TV series together just as soon as they find a network or streaming service for it. The project was put together by MRC, who will now try and sell it. Shouldn't be too hard. It's called The Shrink Next Door, and it's based on a Wondery and Bloomberg News podcast that was inspired by real events. Rudd plays a psychiatrist to the stars who becomes overly involved in the life of his longtime patient, played by Ferrell. It'll be directed by the Big Sick director, Michael Showalter. A lot of action over at Netflix again today. They won a bidding war for Jennifer Lawrence's next movie. It's a comedy called Don't Look Up that'll be written and directed by Adam McKay, whose production company has a first-look deal at Paramount, who apparently passed on the project due to the price tag, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The movie is about two scientists who discover a meteor is going to hit Earth in 6 months, but find the American public doesn't quite believe them when they go out and publicize it. Hence the title Don't Look Up. Makes sense. Netflix is fast-tracking this for an April start, so it'll hit the service by end of year. And get ready for Netflix the Novel. CEO Reed Hastings has co-written a book coming out in May from Penguin House called No Rules Rules. Always with the mind games, those guys. The subtitle is Netflix and the Culture of Reinvention, which will dive into the infamous culture over there at Netflix, albeit from the perspective of the guy who created it. Mahershala Ali is going to star in an Apple TV movie called Swan Song. Not a lot of details on it at this point, other than that it'll be directed by a first-time Irish director who won the Oscar for Best Live Action Short in 2016, and that they're explicitly aiming for a genre-bending tone like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Being John Malkovich. So hey, no pressure there. If you've always wanted to work with Bethany Frankel, note I said work for, not drink with, although perhaps that's one and the same. HBO Max is going to give you your shot. Bethany signed on to front an 8-episode reality series called The Big Shot with Bethany, which from the press announcement kind of sounds like an Apprentice ripoff, homage, where budding business moguls will compete for a job on her executive team. To reinforce its apprenticeness, it's even produced by Mark Burnett as part of his deal with MGM. Speaking of competitions, MTV is continuing to remake itself in the shadow of the 2000s, this time bringing back Making the Band. Looks like Diddy's still involved as a producer, but in a case of musical nepotism, he's installed his 3 sons as the judges, along with celebrity choreographer Lorianne Gibson, who apparently was on the original show. So if you want to be the next O-Town Danity Kane or somebody named Donnie Klang, is that right? Donnie Klang? Anyway, open auditions begin at the end of the month. And finally, a congrats to Eugene Hernandez. He's been named the new director of the New York Film Festival. He founded the independent film website IndieWire and is the deputy director of film at Lincoln Center, who runs the NYFF. A quiet day in Silicon Valley as they wait to see what the EU regulators say about their businesses. So let's head over to the Media Biz. With a picture of just how bad cord cutting got in 2019, a sellout over at March Madness a month before it begins, and some good consolation news for the Yang Gang. But first, the Wake Up is brought to you by Devoción Coffee. Now, if you're having your morning cup of coffee, you may know it's freshly roasted. A lot of people print that on their bags, but what you don't know is when those coffee beans were picked off the trees. Depending upon the origin, that can be as much as 6 to 9 months. And we all know that coffee is better when it's fresh, and there's no fresher coffee you can get than Devoción coffee. Devoción FedExes freshly picked beans from the mountains of Colombia every week to their headquarters in Brooklyn, freshly roasts them, and puts it in your coffee cup, often within just 2 weeks' time. They have 4 locations in New York, but if you live in LA, San Francisco, or anywhere, you can sign up for their subscription plan, and they'll send you beans as often as you want. Every week, every 3 weeks. I'm more of a 2-week kind of guy. Whatever you need. Go to devoción.com/wakeup and get 15% off your first order. That's Devoción, DEVOCION.com/wakeup. Get 15% off on me. Well, on Devoción, but it's kind of for me. Get yours today. And now the latest from the Media Biz. Viacom CBS had a net loss of $273 million in its first quarter as a company. Guessing a plaque isn't going to go up in the lobby to memorialize that one. It includes losses of $119 million for the last 3 months of 2019 at Paramount Pictures. Thanks a lot, Gemini Man and Terminator Dark Fate. Hopefully, at least, Sonic should help turn things around this quarter. They also cited they're now looking to squeeze out $750 million in merger synergies, aka cost cutting, so figure that first round of layoffs should happen any day now. More details may be forthcoming today on that new rumored streaming service, so I'll keep you posted tomorrow. The final cord-cutting numbers for 2019 are in, and almost 6 million people dropped their cable or satellite TV package last year. That's according to a report by industry analyst MoffettNathanson. That 6 million number is over 70% higher than the cord-cutting number in 2018, according to the Wall Street Journal. 83 million people still subscribe to cable TV, although I'm not one of them, and about 10 million subscribe to a streaming bundle like YouTube TV or Sling, and I'm not one of those either. But that combined 93 million subscriber total is still a ways away from the peak of 105 million cable TV subscribers the industry had about 10 years ago. And a small related fact here from Yahoo Finance, one thing that got a bit lost in the mix with the huge Disney Plus numbers this month, and understandably so, but ESPN's subscription streaming service, ESPN Plus, quadrupled their subscriber count number in 2019. Granted, a good deal of that is because it's been bundled with Disney Plus and Hulu for $13 a month, but still, a streaming video service quadrupling their subscriber count in 12 months is an impressive feat in 2020, especially since they really didn't add any new major programming this year. Ad Age reported that NCAA March Madness is sold out a month before it even starts, in terms of the ad time across CBS and the Turner networks, whereas last year there were spots available until the tip-off of the first game. You can still buy ad time in the digital streams, which are sold separately and generally reach a younger audience. The 64-team March Madness begins on Thursday, March 19th. The Yang Gang is coming to CNN, or at least Andrew Yang is. I'm sure CNN hopes the gang will follow. He'll be a political commentator for the presidential race on the network, so I'm sure he'll be put to good use today. Alamo Drafthouse has set up its own monthly movie ticket subscription program, a la MoviePass, rest in peace, for $30 a month in LA and New York, and closer to $15 a month in other cities because we love paying more for the exact same thing here. You'll get one movie ticket a day with surcharges for things like 3D or Dolby screens, according to Variety. And finally, a congrats to Aha. Yeah, that Aha. How many Ahas do you know? Their Take On Me video became the second 80s song to hit 1 billion all-time views on YouTube this week. The first song to do it was Sweet Child of Mine, but hey, today's all about the Norwegians.
Take on me, take on me, take me on.
That's a wrap for today. You can get links to all stories featured here in our email newsletter. Sign up at thewakeup.com. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow.